Hi everybody, welcome to the Cartoon Factory. I'm your host Jim Gilbert. Here on the Cartoon Factory what we do is we build cartoons. So if you don't know how to draw, don't be concerned. You really don't need to know. We're going to take you step by step and show you just exactly how easy it is to put together a cartoon. Eventually you'll be able to create your own. If all you can do right now is follow along, that's fine. If you want to follow along, grab yourself a piece of paper and a pencil. It's funny, it doesn't make any difference. I used to tell people the type of paper and what kind of pencil they should use and stuff. And the funny thing is, I've been getting some marvelous letters in and some marvelous drawings in, and some of them I've gotten on Post-it stickers. One young lady, Sabrina, sent me a picture of a crazy chef, and what she had done was she'd taken a brown paper sack and torn it up and used the best part of it, and then with her crayons drew it. It was great. I loved it. So whatever you have handy. If there's no paper around, maybe you can draw. Well, I guess you'd have to have paper, wouldn't you? Your mom would probably get mad if you drew on the back of your little brother or sister or your grandma or grandpa or something. Anyhow, what I'm going to do today, part of the fun part of cartooning is you always learn something new. I mean, I guess you do in everyday life, but especially in cartooning, it's really exciting. And I've recently learned how to put together a few new faces using almost exclusively numbers. And what I want to do for you today is I want to show you how we can make different numbers and how you can change the expressions by just making just a few simple changes. So we're going to begin with the number 3. So all you have to do, let me get my glasses here so I can see what I'm doing. With the number 3, you just put the number 3 down on your paper. It doesn't have to be the perfect number 3, just as long as it kind of looks like the number 3. Then you come up here and you put a second number 3. You put a little curve under here and come back up in here with a couple of circles. And just come around here and just make kind of squiggly lines. Try and form kind of a pear shape, if you can, where the top would be a little bit smaller than the bottom. Come back around the middle here and just outline the face. Now, in just a couple of seconds, we've drawn a monkey. You can put some ears on him. There we go. Eyebrows can be up here if you want them to be. A couple of extra little lines here and there. And out of the number 3, let me move this for you, you've drawn a monkey. Now, if you wanted to take this little monkey and you wanted to make him just a little bit different, you could make the lines a little squigglier around him instead of as big as I did, put much bigger ears on it. And you can change this little gorilla, actually, into a chimpanzee. Now, the second number we're going to work with is number 4. And this is really neat. A young man sent this idea in to me. I'm sorry, I don't remember your name. I'll look it up and I'll pass it on. But we start off with the number 4. Let's see how we're doing here with paper. There we go. And you put down the number 4. And then next to it, you put just like that. That's what you want to end up having it look like. It looks like a backwards L and a number 4. Then you add this shape for a nose. Come down like this for the mouth. A little bit of a chin. And then I think we'll use the egg shape. We'll bring the egg shape down around like so. Bring it back up. And if you put some ears on this little creature down this way, and some lines here, you have a sleeping animal. Now, let me show you what else you can do with this. This is where just a very simple change makes a drastic change in your drawing. We come back and we start off with the number 4 again. There we go. And we put the backwards L. And we put the nose. So everything so far looks exactly the same. Put on the mouth. A little bit perkier this time. A couple little curves here. We'll put out the tongue. There we go. Fill in this area. You can fill in the nose too if you want while we're at it. Just to start showing a little bit of depth to your drawing here. We'll put this one inside of another egg type shape. Maybe a little hair. And this time we put the ears up, like this, and we put eyes in here. And what we've done is we've taken this little cat, and we've taken, and we'll put the whiskers on. Forgot the whiskers. Okay, we've taken the cat, and we went from a sleeping cat. We'll show you here. Here we have the sleeping cat, and here we have the wide-awake cat. Now, before we go any farther, I want to explain to you. If you're having trouble drawing the face shapes, you need to start working from your shoulder. A lot of people will have a tendency to cramp up and they'll draw real tight, and it doesn't work out very well. Try and relax. Remember that the pencil works for you. You don't work for the pencil. And the other thing to remember, and I can't tell you this enough, there's no way you can make a mistake. It is absolutely impossible. If your cartoon doesn't look exactly like mine, that's fine. Don't worry about it, because then you're creating your own. I'm just giving you the guidelines, but you cannot make a mistake. It's impossible. The reason I can say that is cartoons are meant to be funny. So if the eyes become too big or the ears are too small or whatever, as long as they get a chuckle, as long as you're happy with it, it doesn't make any difference at all. So I'll tell you what, let me go back and just do a little bit of polishing up on this cat. I want to show you one more thing you can do, and then we'll step over to the next number. Now, if you want to change this cat even more, you can come in here and you can put on the side fur. I've got a cat that lives in my garage. We've talked about him before, old Scruffy. And all of a sudden now, Scruffy he still won't come to anybody, but he's now expecting to be fed. He shows up all the time. So now he's a little bit fatter, like this cat here. He lays out on my son's car and waits to be fed now. He has the time set that he thinks he should be fed. But he still won't let anybody come near him. He still won't let anybody touch him. Okay, now, next, we're going to go to number 5. Once again, with a number 5, we're going to do a face. And we're going to be able to show you how, once again, to change expressions by simply making very minor changes in what you do to the face. So to begin with, we'll make like a sad little girl or a sad little boy, all right? We start off with the number 5. Now, by doing this, you've already created the nose and the eyebrow. And I've made a mistake, so I'm going to make a reversal on this. I haven't really made a mistake. I'm doing the mean little kid first, then the sad little kid. By putting this part of the 5 up and then another one up like this, you give your character a mischievous look. We put the eyes in at the same angle, like so. Now you can see here these eyes are almost the letter P. We'll put some on the inside. And we'll take the smile and kind of cock it off to one side here. And we'll put some ears on. And we'll just drop around like so. And we'll come up here and give this character some bangs. Put on the rest of his hair. Now, if you want to turn this character into I like to put freckles, by the way, on my little kids. This mean little kid's got freckles. If you wanted to make this into a little girl, you could simply just drop down like so. Add a neck. Of course, a boy would have a neck too. Add here. And there's the mean little kid. Anytime you're doing something that you want it to look a little mean or a little mischievous, what you want to do, the eyes are very important. What you want to do is you want to make sure that the eyes slant downwards towards the nose. You want to make sure that the eyebrows slant downwards towards the nose. It gives it an evil look. Actually, they did some research and some advertising, and they found out that if you want your character to be really mean and wicked and evil and kind of give people a scare, everything should be run on a 45-degree angle. Now, why 45 degrees works, I don't know, but that's the number that they tell me really does the job as far as, you know, scaring people. Now, we'll go back. This time, I promise, we'll do the sad little kid. We start once again with the number 5, and we put on the glasses so I can see what I'm doing. Okay. And this time, when we do the number 5, we run the line this way, and we add the second line this way so that now the eyebrows are going in the opposite direction that they were last time. We'll move this so you can see a little bit better. Now, we'll put on a little sad smile or a little sad frown, maybe a little up there for the chin. We'll run the eyes the same way, make them really sad looking. You can make the character looking up. That always helps if your character has this little upward look to him or her. We'll fill these in like we did the nose on that second cat. So now you have a sad little character sitting there looking up at you. Maybe they did something wrong. Maybe they got caught with their hand in the old cookie jar or something. Add the ears. Add the shape face. Shape face. That was good. The face shape. And we'll put the bangs on. And the hair. And, of course, the freckles. Now, if you want this character to be really, really sad, like he or she really got in trouble, you can come in here and add a few little teardrops. Because maybe, maybe this little character took a cookie or something he wasn't supposed to, and Mom caught him, and he's really, really upset, but he's very sad that he did it because he knows he did wrong. All right, now that's how you can make the difference between a mischievous little character and a sad little character. You could also do the same thing with the number 5. You can make sure that the lines run straight. Matter of fact, let's do that. If you just want a character that's just kind of blasé and just looking at you, and he's really not, a mean little kid, and he's really not a sad little kid, he's just a little kid, you can come down here and put down the number 5. And this time make sure that the line is straight. And then you have a straight line here, and then we'll put the eyes in. Just a nice little smile. Ears. And actually, we could make this one into an older person by putting on some different hair. Maybe coming back and making the eyebrows bushy. But you see how off the number 5 you can do several different faces and get several different expressions just by very, very slight movement. Now the next one, and this one is really a kick. I love what I learned with this one. This one, up until now, the numbers that we've been using have been used as part of the face. And if you've seen the show before, normally we start off with a circle or a pear or an egg, and we do that later on. This time we're building the face and then drawing the head around it. So what we've been doing is we've been using the numbers as a part of the face. Now this time what we're going to do is we're going to be using the number as the actual complete head. So this time, instead of just being part of the face, it becomes the complete head, and we draw the face around it. So let's go ahead, and we're using the number 8. So we come in here and we put down the top circle and the bottom. All right, now you come back here and you put some loops in for eyes. Yeah, I'll put them kind of little droopy eyes this time. For the nose, we come out to the side and put the same loop shapes, only just a little bit smaller, and then we put another loop inside of that. Up here, we put in a loop and a slight line, a loop and a slight line. There we go. Give you a better shot of it there. We put in a big smile, put some curves on. Then we add the teeth, which are actually just about the same as the loops. They're just slightly squared off at the bottom, but you could use the same loops there. Add the rest of the mouth here, maybe put in the tongue this time, and out of the number 8, you've drawn a happy little hippo. Another thing you can do, and we're going to finish up by doing a complete sketch of this little hippo in a few minutes. But from the number 8, you can also do another type of monkey, which we'll do in a second, and you can also do a walrus. Now, walruses you normally don't think about as being, cute little cartoon characters, but if you've ever been to any place where you can actually, a zoo or something, where you can actually go see and touch and pet a walrus, they are probably some of the funniest animals I've ever seen in my life. So I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and do a walrus now. Once again, we start off with the number 8. And as you notice, these don't have to be perfect circles or perfect ovals. As long as it looks like a number 8, we're set. We come up here this time and we add a second line here. We put some loops in here and here. And let's just make him looking off to one side. So put his eyes like that. Maybe his handler's over here getting ready to give him some fish. For the nose this time, we just use a couple little slant lines like this. And then we come down here and we put the smile on. Now this time, instead of doing the little blunt teeth like we did last time, we come down with some pretty big teeth on either side. And once again, being a cartoon, you can make these teeth as big or as short as you want them. We'll put on the smile, add the tongue, maybe curve it in a little bit here this time. And we'll put some hair up here and maybe some whiskers here. Now, that's how you would do a walrus using the number 8. And since we have the time, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to make a monkey out of the number 8 also. This time we'll make this monkey look a little bit more like a chimpanzee. The fur won't go all the way around this time. It stops off at the chin, and we put gigantic ears on, like human ears. And when I say gigantic, when you're doing cartoons, everything can be out of proportion. Nothing has to be exactly this way or exactly that way, okay? So let's go ahead and start with the number 8 once more. And if you have to go around it 3 or 4 times like this until you get the shape you're satisfied with, that's fine. Not a problem. You go right ahead and do it. Like I said, relax and just have a good time at this. Now this time we lower the curve here for the nose, and we put a couple little hooks in. Actually, they almost look like a squished down letter C. And then we come to the side and we put some big ears on him, or her. Add the secondary line. We'll put a nice big smile in. Put another lip down here. Now, if you want to, you can finish this off and put teeth in. Because if you've ever been to the zoo, sometimes chimpanzees will sit there and smile at you and show their teeth. A little line underneath. We'll come up here and we'll put an eye in with a loop. Put another loop in. Put some eyelids. There we go. Now, the way you finish this off to be the complete chimpanzee is you come back around and make a shape like that. So it's got a point right here, and you make a shape like that. And then you come back up here, and you make the fur by just using squiggly lines. And when you get down here near the bottom, instead of going all the way around, you stop. You come over and do the same thing on this side. They don't have to be exact. I've had a lot of people write and say, boy, Jim, you know, when we do the monkey or we do the dog or we do the cat, the sides aren't exact. And there's no problem there. They don't have to be exact. All right, there's our little chimpanzee. We'll add a neck, put a little fur on that for you. Okay, now, I promised you if we had the time, I would do a complete hippo, and that's what we're going to do. Now, one of the fun parts about doing cartooning is you do obscure things. You do things that, you know, you normally would not see a character doing in everyday life, and that's what we're going to do with this little hippo. I was sitting there at night. I like to doodle and play around with my papers, and I draw and sketch and do all kinds of fun things. And I have doodle pages. Matter of fact, one of these days I'll show you one. And I was doodling one night, and I came up by using 2 number 8s. We made this hippo. And then I thought, boy, this would be really, really funny if I did what I'm going to do to him. So let's go ahead and do the hippo now. This time we're using 2 number 8s, by the way. Okay. You have a smaller number 8 here. You put a little bit of a line here to be used as the neck. And then you put in a little bit larger number 8. That's the basis of our hippo. You come in now and put in your curved lines, the ears, and the loops for the eyes, the cross line for the eyelids, add the nostrils, and that big grin with his teeth again. Now, I was sitting there and I was thinking, you know, while I was drawing this little character, what would we do to this little character that would be just really something that you would never see a hippo do. And I thought, you know, it might be fun to have this hippo doing the hula. So what we're going to do here is we're going to add the arms to it, like so, and like so. We want them out because, after all, this hippo is dancing. Add some curved lines like that. Now, to do the hula skirt, we come by like this and just go clear across this belly with a series of X's. Then we come down here, and you don't have to worry about attaching the legs to the body. You can just, any place you feel like it, add a couple of lines, put some toes on, and then start making the grass skirt just by making lines. There we go. And of course, we'll clean up these lines here a little bit. Of course, your little hippo here, if he were truly in the islands and he were truly doing the hula, he would have a flowered lei on. So we just come around like this, and with just squiggly curved lines, we make a nice flowered lei for him or her. There we go. Now, we'll put some sand in here. We'll put in a nice palm tree. And palm trees are real simple to do. You just kind of go like this and just do some squiggly little lines, because this is just part of the background anyway. It's not that drastically important, but you just want that palm tree to show up. Then you put some action lines, which makes our little character appear to be moving. Now, there's our hula hippo. If you wanted to make this a completed cartoon, your next step would be to ink it. You would take a good felt tip pen, whatever size you would feel comfortable with, and you would take your cartoon and you'd come back and you would ink it. Now, when you ink it, you don't even have to follow the lines. I mean, you can be close. You don't have to be right on them, because after you're done inking, you're going to erase anyway. So let me just start a little bit here and show you what we would do if we were going to ink this one. Start any place you feel comfortable and just come close to following your lines, you know. There we go. Now, one of these days, I promise you, I'm going to take the time out to do one of these where I ink the complete cartoon for you. But we'll do this little guy's face to begin with. Fill in the eyes and fill in the mouth. Now, if you were going to take and what you would do next is you would finish inking it completely. You'd get yourself a good eraser, and you'd erase all the pencil. That's why it doesn't make any difference if you're really on top of it or not. You'd erase all of the pencil. I have told you in the past that you should brush it off with a towel or a piece of paper, paper tissue or something. You can shake it off on the floor. I shouldn't have told you that. I got screamed at for that. If you're going to shake it off to the side, you should shake it off into a trash can, not onto the floor. I'm lucky. I have people at the studio that clean up after me. But I've heard from a couple moms, and they said, no, have them shake it off into a trash can, please. They were very polite about it. Or you can take just a regular little paintbrush like this, and when you've got your little rubber particles here, you just go like so. See, the hippo's really dancing, isn't he? And just brush them away. That way they get out of your way, and they won't go back underneath when you're drawing. Because when you start to draw again or start to color, what might happen is if one of these little pieces gets underneath it, you're going to end up very possibly jumping or making a mistake as far as your coloring goes, because the coloring won't be smooth. Now, I got to tell you what, I have had some marvelous, marvelous, marvelous letters come in. I've had some marvelous cartoons come in. I want to show you some real fast here. There's a gentleman out here in California who's a school teacher by the name of Mr. Stillman. I mispronounced his name one time. My apologies, Mr. Stillman. Mr. Stillman had his class send me, on the last of the shows we did was called the English Guard. And everybody did the English Guard for me. And we got in 17 drawings of the English Guard. So let me show you some of them real fast here. This is from Cecilia. She's age 10. This is from Jennifer. This is from Lena, I believe. If I'm mispronouncing your name, I apologize. This one doesn't have a name. This is another black and white one from Jennifer. This is from Rico. This is from Sarah. Do our best here to show them for you. This is from Bill, I believe it is. And there's some more that I'll show you next time because the old clock on the wall says it's almost time to go. If you've enjoyed this time together as much as I have, let me know. We'll have an address at the end of the program. If you want any information about the Cartoon Factory, anything we do here, just want to write and say hi. If you have any suggestions, hey, let us know because we're always just tickled to hear from you. I'm going to go ahead and finish up doing the inking work on my hula hippo. And I guess in closing, the best thing I can say is you are always welcome at the Cartoon Factory. I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.